Welcome to Job 21. We went through in the last chapter a little bit of what I spoke then about, which now goes more into detail about the wicked people prospering. I probably said too much in the last video, taking over what should have been said in here, but it is what it is. And I'll read a little in the Greek, and then we'll go through the chapter. Ipolavon the Iob legi. Acusate mu ton logon. Ina imi par imon avti e paraklesis. Arate me ego de laliso. Et u kata gelasate mu. In undertaking, Job says, "Hear my words, that there should be to me this comfort from you. Listen to what I have to say. Lift me, and I will speak. Then you shall not ridicule me." Because they're going to hear what he has to say, and he won't be ridiculing. That's what he's thinking. For what? Is my rebuke from man? Or why shall I not be enraged? So they know that he's angry. Is he angry at God or his condition? And they're coming against him and trying to find fault and so forth. So who's his rebuke from? Oh, one's looking at me wonder. While putting the hand upon the jaw, I'm guessing he's saying, like, you put the thinker in. I don't know who did it was a statue, I guess, but the thinker. I think that's what it's talking about. Oh, one's looking at me wonder, while putting the hand upon the jaw. Look at, For even if I should remember, I hurry, and griefs hold the things of my flesh. So I'm in a mess. Why do the pious ones live, and they grow old and in riches? So now the question here is what he's coming and questioning. Now, is what he's questioning the reality? Well, no, because then later in verse 17, he'll tell what happens to them. But this is something that a lot of us would question. And let's go through it and see why do the impious ones live? Why are there people that are bad, that harm other people? You look in the news, it's horrible. People killing and maiming and destroying and all sorts of bad things from one to another. And they grow old, they keep doing it, and in riches, and they get wealthier. Their sowing is according to their soul's desire. They love doing it. And their children in eyes, in their sight. And down here in 8. In their sight. They do it in front of their family and in piousness. Their houses prosper, and fear is not to them at all. They're not afraid of God. They just do what they want to do. And the whip of the Lord is not upon them, so it seems. Their ox does not bring forth prematurely. Their farm, everything's working good. And their pregnant ones are preserved to have and not to trip. They all give birth. And they remain as everlasting sheep, and their children play before them. So all is going well. The children are having a good time, even though they're being ungodly and impious. And they're taking up the psaltery and harp and rejoicing and partying and so forth. Now you can add the psalterion. We have the psaltery. It's a transliteration. The modern psaltery, though, wasn't like the ancient psaltery. The modern psaltery was made in Appalachia in the early 1900s. And the harp, and are gladdened at the sound of a psalm. And they complete their existence with good things. So they seems. And in the rest of Hades, they go to sleep. Now, I'm not sure what understanding of Hades Job has, or these people. The Hades is a Greek word, Hades. Sheol is the Hebrew word, but generally it was that death. You go to Hades, wherever. And that's called Hades. And the one that's dying, he says to the Lord, "Separate from me, for I do not want to know your ways," the impious says. "What is fit that we shall serve to him? And what benefit that we shall meet with him?" So they, what good has God in our life? A lot of the impious will say, people we know, friends we know, and relatives. For the good things were not to him in hands, but works of impious ones he inspects not. God doesn't see what we're doing. Now he changes. But nevertheless, even the lamp of impious ones shall be extinguished. These people we know that are impious, that are ungodly, they're succeeding. Apparently, they're not in jail, not going to the being executed or anything, getting away. But nevertheless, the lamp of the impious ones shall be extinguished. They are going to die, and there shall come upon them the final event. But their pangs they shall have from anger. So Job sees some type of afterlife with the final event, and there shall be an anger. So he sees that even before the law, Jesus, thousands of years earlier. And they will be as straw before the wind, or as a cloud of dust, which the tempest took up. And they're just blown away. May his possessions fail his sons, and God shall recompense to him, and he shall know it. Again, recompense can be a good thing, reward to the good, and a punishment to the evil ones. May his eyes behold his own slaughter, and from the Lord may he not be delivered. May he see his own downfall, basically. Why does it have to go all the way till death? Yeah, many people that are unjust and they get caught, go to jail, and do see their own slaughter. For his will is in his house with him, does what he wants, but the number of his months were divided, that is, cut off. Is it not the Lord who is the one teaching understanding and higher knowledge? And is it not he who, we go here to the wise ones, litigates wise ones? God gives this understanding, and to whomever he wishes. He litigates it, decides. This one shall die in the might of his singleness of purpose, but entirely enjoying pleasure and prospering. And his insides are full of fat, and his marrow is diffused in him. So everything is going fine until he dies, but then, and the coming to an end in bitterness of soul, not eating anything good. But in one accord upon the earth they sleep, and rottenness covers them. The people that are ungodly, you try to tell them about an afterlife, and that's, it's just going to stop when I die. Nothing's going to happen. And that's their general thoughts, I think, are that they are going to be maybe punished if they've done bad, but they'll get something good if they've done well, and so forth. But they don't really see the reality of what God has in store for them. Really, it's hard to see for them back in this time of Job, because it doesn't plainly show it until the time of Jesus. There's not a whole lot about Hades and Sheol and death in the Old Testament. Even the Sadducees didn't believe in an afterlife, nor hell or Hades, any of that. The Pharisees did, but not the Sadducees. So many Jews didn't believe in an afterlife. And so as I know you, that you daringly press upon me. Now back to these guys, telling them what he thinks about them. That you shall say, Where is the house of the ruler, and where is the protection of the tents of the impious? There isn't any. Ask the ones passing by the way, and you shall not separate from their signs, for unto the day of destruction the wicked one lightens. And that's 30. We'll go down here. Lightens, it takes ease. For the day of his anger he shall be taken away. Who will report unto his face his way? Well, Jesus does. And why he did, who shall recompense to him? Well, God will. And he was carried away into the tombs. Taphus, a cenotaph, is a place where it's like a tomb. And he was carried away into the tombs and stayed awake upon the heaps, and the heaps are the graves, and mourning at the graves, staying awake, and mourning upon the heaps, the graves. The gravel of the rushing stream was sweet to him. He had bad things, but yet he liked them. And after him every man shall go forth, and in front of him there are innumerable ones, many that will be impious and ungodly. And how do you comfort me in vain to these men? But for me to rest from you is nothing. I can handle you, more or less, is what he's saying. The next chapter, then, Eliphaz comes back and starts accusing Job of injustice. And maybe in what he's saying in this chapter, and we'll find out what Eliphaz has to say in chapter 22. Hope you join us. Till then, God bless.